Hi. So this is probably like only the second time we've just gotten to like hang out with each other. But I don't even really see why we need to do a reading today. I feel like let's just hang out. Let's do a homie hangout. I've got some like nice music in the background. Got the whole place to myself. Kind of like airing out the tent and letting the energies do things. I've got incense going over here. It's sunny. Let's just hang out. I have a little bit of an art project that I need to be working on. I have a few art projects I need to be working on actually. So why don't we just do that? Let's do that together. Last time we just kind of hung out and talked. Things were pretty heavy. The world just felt scary, and unfortunately not much has changed, save for, I guess, we're here now. You know, we've had a couple of videos since then where we've talked about, you know, next steps, how we're gonna navigate things, and that's been really cool. I know for me, like, I did the video because I was just pissed off, and now it's interesting because it feels like I have like an enormous stack of reasons to be pissed off right now still. But today is, you know, New Year's for those of us who celebrate the spring equinox. And there's just a lot of like energies calling out to me this time around. Trying to gravitate me more toward a gratitude space. And so I've just been listening to that lately, just that part of me that's like, yeah, I think that being in an attitude of gratitude, even with everything kind of going on in the world and around us right now, you know, might not be the worst idea ever. I certainly find it helpful whenever I'm not feeling quite myself. So I'm just sitting in gratitude spaces. It's hard to be in a gratitude space when you're angry. And I think that's just kind of been the lesson leading up to now. It's fucking hard to be grateful and angry. I think it's just because, like, I don't know about you, but it wasn't really talked about, this idea that, like, two things can be true. I think being raised in an environment where, like, you are either grateful for everything or you are super ungrateful, how dare you complain. Like, it's just a very interesting thing to like break out of, and then also have to kind of come back and be like, I gotta heal and grow from it and still show up as like my best self. But we're here and we're doing our best, and I think that I grabbed the wrong string. We're here and we're doing the best that we can with what we have to work with. That's at least what I'm trying to do, and so Considering this last few weeks and most of March during this time has just been interesting in that vein, because like, man, like, it is so flippin' hard. It's so flippin' hard. Oh, like, I am struggling a little bit, but that's why we're doing arts and crafts. I have a lot of orders to fill, actually. I don't know if this is, I don't know how much of my neurospice plays like a part in all of this, but I will tell you, like, it is so difficult for me to sit still with like a bunch of things to do. No matter how grateful or excited I am, it can just be super, super hard for me to like get started after all that. Like, I get the excitement of like strangers coming up to me saying like, I'm ready to order A, B, C, and D, and like I'll slap a price on them that like, you know, people normally say like no to, and then I'm like, this is how much it is, and they're paying me. Like, just not been in a space like that. And I haven't been in a space like that where I'm like that, in that space where I'm like, yeah, like I'm filling in orders, I'm, you know, able to be my creative self at low to zero cost, and still kind of walk away feeling like, but I am a little bit exhausted, you know, like, I never gave myself permission before, is the truth, to say like, yes, I have things to do, and also like I need to take a beat and a pause because I need to take care of me first. Like, that's crazy. But it cut back on a lot of like anger that I could have held on to about societies and societal demands and all of the things that I'm used to being upset and pissed off and afraid about. Like, the exercise for me lately has just really been to sit with what my expectations are of myself, and then saying like, it's okay to set your boundaries with other people about your time and energy and your craft. Like, it is okay for people to be a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that when you're in a space providing any kind of service whatsoever, like, people have got to start getting used to boundaries, you know, business boundaries, like the person and the business and the boundaries around it, you know. And I think that, yeah, I think we lived in a society for a while where like we got a little comfortable with deferring to, you know, this idea that, you know, we have a higher up for a reason, and that's fine and fair. I just, you know, I found the flaw in it a while ago. Because, like, it doesn't really matter if it's a company or a human being. Like, a human being gets to set a boundary. And other human beings have a right to be uncomfortable with that, but they don't. I think people think they have a right to overstep a lot of boundaries, and it's weird. And I think, you know, sitting with it is healthy. Sitting with the fact that, like, the reason why sometimes I think it took me so long to get to this place in my life is simply because, like, I did allow societal standards to shape me. So, my rebellion in all of it truly is when I decide enough is enough. There isn't anything that this world absolutely needs from me that can't wait. Shit, like, I just make jewelry. Like, I make pretty glasses chains that can convert into a necklace. You know, amulet style necklaces, earrings, none of which are necessities. You know, was treating myself as though I didn't have a right to negotiate my boundaries around my business. And I don't really know, like, I think it came because people often shame business owners for having boundaries, like small business owners for having business boundaries. It's weird. It's like, if you're not like a multi-million-dollar company, then like you're supposed to just be okay with, you know, being given shittiness. It's weird. I don't know when we got in the habit of that as a society, or if that's always been that way and I just unplugged long enough for it to be unacceptable for me. I don't know, but I got to the point where I was like, I think I'm gonna opt out. I think I'll opt out. And I'm happy I did, because like, man, people don't talk about how much money you waste catering to other people's unrealistic expectations of your small business. Like, damn. And don't be a little bit melanated having boundaries. No siree bob. Like, I know I'm pretty pale, but don't be black with boundaries. It's never ideal, and I never understood why that was the case, but it's hard out here. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. People really out here thinking that they are entitled to your time, to your energy, to your art, to your craft, to what you do. But you know what? I will say this to get a few things more off my chest. It's hard to detach yourself from society these days. Like, they make it really hard to find yourself out here. I noticed. Like, it's, if you want to survive, you know, pay bills, be even remotely in tune with yourself after the trauma of society has already, like, sucked you in, you know? It's hard to unplug and then reestablish. It's very difficult. So, with that being said, to whoever managed to do that, hella proud of you. And also, you know, to those who are still trying, please don't give up. Maybe you need to start over. Maybe you need to pull all of the beads you put on the string off and start the process over with a new idea in mind. 1333, so someone needs to do that. Sorry, I scared the shit out of myself because it was like, something fell. The bag must have tipped over. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I say all that to say, like, it's okay. You get to be yourself. It's not as unsafe as the world keeps trying to tell you. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but like, it's probably like better to start over. Like, it sounds like a setback, but like, that's only if you listen to people who are just miserably coasting by in their own life. I think that anybody who tells you that you have to stick it out in something that you're unhappy with, like, those people have their own trauma they need to contend with, you know? I'm not saying that people should just be irresponsible for no reason. I just think that it's important to acknowledge that, like, this idea that people have to stay stuck and unhappy because there's some kind of, like, rule against realizing you need different and better and not being able to, like, there's some kind of statute of limitation against, like, healing and doing better for yourself. Like, as soon as you make a decision, you know, slap a title on your life, like, there's no going back. And it's just weird to me. Like, I don't know what this, like, stuck gospel is that people are preaching, where you just gotta sit there and just be fucking miserable because, you know, your foremothers or forefathers before you did, and therefore you must. I don't fucking know, but it's kind of gross. It's kind of gross. So, if no one told you yet today that you don't have to do that, let me be the first to welcome you to a life where you are not stuck. And if that just means that you're sitting here with me, tinkering around with supplies that make you feel good, I'm happy to be here with you. I think that's rad. I do have, like, eye-hand coordination problems, so if I, like, randomly pause for long periods of time, it's because I can't see shit. That's the truth. I can't see a dad blasted thing. I don't know if you saw that, but no, you couldn't possibly have. It's off camera. I had a bee that just, like, catapulted into a totally different container. Amazing. She tried to run away. Anyways, what other sermons do I have on my mind? Whatever wisdoms I have to impart onto you after all that word vomiting shit, I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually not even working on a pending project right now. I think that, you know, I feel great gratitude for the blessing of already having too many orders and feeling overwhelmed by that. I think that's freaking rad. I think that is a part of my lore that I will always feel gratitude about. So, thank you, universe and otherwise, for hitting me up with some good juju in business. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm just revamping my amulet necklace that I like to wear. Because occasionally you just want to try new things. I've been really trying to navigate some of the harder parts of this journey that I've been on lately. I only recently chose living. 1919 when I said that. I looked up and I saw that and I was like, yeah, I only recently chose living. And that might seem morbid, but it is. I will not mince words with you. I just recently decided I'd give this whole being alive thing another shot. And the most important part of that decision for me has been, you know, acknowledging to myself every single day that, like, yes, I'm choosing to live, but the most important piece to that is that I am choosing to live now, finally, on my terms. And that little sidebar has been the most important, like, part of this whole journey for me, has been just like, yeah, I don't think that a lot of people realize that, like, living because you feel guilty about the alternative, like guilt, living out of guilt, it's still its own form of death, because you're not doing it because you have a desire to do it or anything like that. You're doing it because you need to. And oftentimes, like, when your will to live is only because you are needed, you tend to lose yourself in everyone else's neediness. You know, they need you to live for whatever reason they need you. And those reasons can be like very noble. Like, I am not knocking it. I think that I have not been in a lot of scenarios, personally or otherwise, where that has been sustainable. In my experience on this planet, I have noticed that when the rubber meets the road on things like this, the bill comes due and other people's need of you tends to also stop being a good enough excuse. And so then you just kind of like clock out in other ways. You know, you become for them, or you know, accommodate everything in order to, you know, make them happy, because at least they are happy, you know, that you are here, you know, and whatever it is that you are doing. But then, like, you know, it's not hard to, like, discombobulate a person like that, you know, like, if we're being completely real, like, let's be honest, you know, that version of me, at least, it was very easy to be thrown off because nobody is ever always happy with you. And to take it a step further, like, other people do not need you all the time. Do you know who does need you all the time? You do? I chose to live, and then I was confused because I was like, but I don't have a reason, you know. At the time, like, when I made the choice, I was reasonless. I was just like, because, you know, because I didn't feel like I had a choice. I think that, you know, to be sneakily morbid here, it's not for a lack of trying that I came to the point where I had to just make a decision, you know, like, I was at the point where it was like, whatever decision I make, live or die, it's gotta be drastic. Gotta make a radical ass change in order to do this thing. Like, God, I was like, it's not working on these terms, so whatever decision I make here and now, all 10 toes to the ground, this is what I'm doing, and it's radical, and it's drastic, and it'll freak a lot of people out. And then I was like, alright, live or not. And then whatever it was, it's, you know, yes or no, I'm going all in, 100%. So then when I said, okay, I'm gonna do it, what's my reason? Who the fuck cares? We'll worry about that tomorrow. And then, you know, tomorrow, however long tomorrow actually was, I was like, well, you know what I haven't tried yet? Living for me. For no one else but me. Not because I was healing someone's trauma around family, not because I was really good at my job, not because I was their only friend, not because I have a beautiful way of doing X, Y, and Z. Just me. Next question. Who is me? Oh, God. That was a nightmare. Gosh, because, like, that was when I realized just how fucking angry I really am. Oh my God. I realized I was fucking angry when I started legitimizing who I was the entire time. Fuck. Because, like, it's one thing to find yourself, like, not knocking it. It's one thing to find yourself. It's a whole other to acknowledge the you that's been there the whole time. Because then you start realizing not only how many times people just straight up in your fucking face betrayed you, and your honesty and your innocence and your honesty, they just took your shit and manipulated the fuck out of you. Unbeknownst to you, you're here being yourself and then being manipulated into making you so small you can't recognize it. And when you sit with that shit, whoo, and then you have to sit with the fact that you're like, yeah, and then after that, you made decisions in your ignorance. And then you're like, you know, ugh. So, then you gotta, like, heal from all the betrayals that you did to yourself after the initial trauma hit. And you're just like, damn. Get to know yourself, they said. Well. And now we're here, and you took all your fucking power back. You know, at least that's the next thing. That's the next thing. You find out about yourself, you acknowledge yourself, you acknowledge who you truly are, and then you start taking your power back. And to be honest with you, that gets messy. From my perspective, it got pretty messy, because, like, sometimes, like, you have every fucking right to be angry, and you still also should show it better, and you know how to show it better. And so then, like, you get into the realm and in the mind, like, the mindset where you realize, like, oh, if I want to be in this space all the time, both internally and externally, like, if I want to start actually attracting like-minded people, I have to be the bigger person all the fucking time. Ugh. All the time. And to take it a step further, you gotta switch this idea that your customer service brain, you know, trained you into, where, like, everybody else gets the best of you, and then when you get home, you're allowed to just be a dick to everyone at home, and you gotta, like, 180 that shit. No, like, the world cannot have the best of me. It doesn't even know what to do with me. It doesn't even know me to get the best of me. You gotta, like, bust a hard U-turn and be like, actually, like, I limit access now. Like, fuck's sake. Gotta limit that fucking access. And it's hard because it's like, you were not trained to do that. You know? This society trained you to be the best employee, you know? The whatever A, B, and C, best husband, wife, spouse, partner, the best child, the best whatever the hell it is you do with your life and, you know, on your personal time. Like, You were supposed to be the best of everything that didn't even look like you to begin with, and now you do have to take a minute and say, hey, like, my family gets the best first, and not the family that is trying to make me do away with my authentic self in order to accommodate their narrow-mindedness, but the family that looked at me, saw me for who I was, you know, supported me, loved me through that scary shit, and was like, I see you doing and being, you know, and I honor that with, you know, with a lot of different types and varying degrees of support. And I think, like, everybody's idea of family is different. I call my family my found family, but, you know, like, there are blood relatives in my found family, just as many as there are people who do not share blood with me. And it's because I made a decision, you know, which was my first liberating discovery, that I actually do get to choose. No matter how many labels you slap on it, I get to choose. I get to because I'm alive. And when I chose to live, I gave myself the power to exist on my terms. What are my terms? Sometimes I'm still figuring that shit out, okay? Like, sometimes, yeah, I need to take a hot minute to reestablish my boundaries in a relationship and be like, okay, yeah, like, I know we were doing a thing, but I'm gonna need us to do this thing different. And being able to say, like, yeah, maybe another person, you know, maybe other people, maybe society isn't used to that conversation, but I'm starting to think that, like, the more we baby and coddle others because, you know, for whatever reason it feels easier in the moment, like, the more we betray the person that we should be giving our best to, which is our found family, and that does include us. Like, we get our best before everyone else. Did you know that? Like, I'm not gonna fulfill an order until I finish doing what I need to do for myself first. Like, you know how many people in my life would look at me and say, like, that's not, you know, that's not business savvy, that's not caring about your customers. You know how trauma can look big but also little? Being able to say, I call back all that belongs to me and leave the rest behind. And maybe that looks like killing old ideas about the way that you conduct business. Maybe that's killing old ideas about the way that you conduct relationships. And maybe, hopefully, it's that, and you're reconstructing the way that you relate to yourself. Like, whatever that looks like, I hope you know that you have one random stranger in the world that supports the shit out of you while you do this. I wouldn't want it any other way. I want you being so yourself that I just want you being so yourself, and whatever the fuck that looks like for you, whether that be like it just confuses everyone around you, whether that makes everyone happy or pissed, whatever that level of abundance looks like for you, you know, full and total self-love and embracing, whatever that looks like for you, I want you to know that I'm fucking proud of you for wanting it in the first place. Because, like, maybe someone else will come along and be like, breathing is the bare minimum, but as a person who chose, as a fellow human that knows the impact of that choice that you made, I just want you to live, and I want you to live on your terms, and I want that to be enough for you, no matter how anyone else reacts to that. And I know what I'm asking you to do is scary, but I have a feeling you've been through scarier. Like, it may seem like, oh my god, like, being myself, you have no idea. I mean, you're kind of right. I don't know you personally to be telling you that you should be doing this, but I know that I come from a long line of people who will survive just so long as their soul is not in question. And I do think that that ancestral rage in me did morph itself into some ideologies that put me into some surprisingly reversible places. I don't know how much more delicate I can get about this, but it needs to be talked about. I think that if we have to be in a state of gratitude and joy as the seasons change, as we change with it, I think that we definitely deserve to be grateful for the freedom of choice. The freedom to choose to be here on our terms. And yes, I know that other human beings are still having a really hard time agreeing on what basic human rights are. Just a human being breathing in and out, that's still in debate, and I know that, but the only thing that you need is the validation in yourself that you are, and you are valid. And yeah, other people are going to still have a hard time debating that, and that's going to be part of the battle of choosing to breathe in and now. But all I have to say to encourage you is that take it from someone who made a choice. And I've been making that choice. Hi, my name is Bex, and it has been months since my last attempt, and I am really psyched to be here because I'm doing it on my terms, and my terms have brought me so much peace and validation and self-love, and as a result it has given me the abundance to attract beautiful people and beautiful things, beautiful experiences, more beautiful choices to make, more reasons to live on my terms. I am very proud of you. The spring equinox brings me in a place of great gratitude and joy, and I'm just starting from baseline. Grateful for being able to breathe in and out on my terms, and I'm grateful that I gave myself that option, that choice, that experience, and I'm excited for many more, and I'm excited for more from you, from the world, from people like me, like us, who are ready to start over and prove to the world, but mostly to ourselves, that we did better for ourselves. And now that we have the chance, move, bitch, get out the way. This is Daphnis, the moon of Saturn. You got a ripple effect the fuck out my way. Oh, sorry, I fixed it. So fixed is not a word I would necessarily use, but because I don't like have, 14 karat gold items, and I'm still shopping on, on sale items at Michael's occasionally, because I wear, lotions and oils. Sometimes like the fixtures that I use, the eyes and whatnot, get a little tarnished, and so I just change them out. But my amulet, I like to change out the beads and add whatever I'm led to as far as like my journey and experience dictates. And so I had these guys here that I will refurbish for something else, what I'm not sure. And I restrung and added some cool skulls and kept the moonstone sunstone vibes going. I am going to get my business up and running again soon, but in the interim, like, this is just me hanging out with you guys, and I'm really grateful that we got to do this and spend time together. I don't know what else to say. I was gonna say, like, go to Emerald Horde, but like when I'm ready to do that, I'll do that. I'm not ready yet. Don't question me. But thanks for hanging out and letting us rant and reflect. Homie hangouts. Maybe we should do this like once a month or so. I don't know why I keep trying to put like deadlines and shit on myself. I think that I feel like universal pressure to be like everyone else, but like that's not what we do here. We're chaos gods. Everyone else. What the fuck am I saying? Alright, well then yeah, let's stop doing all that. Let's just be good to ourselves and each other. And I love you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.